We can and we will win this U.S. Senate seat in Illinois. There's no more important of a race than winning that Senate seat and taking back the U.S. Senate. We see now how important having Republicans in the Senate are to confirm judges that make decisions that we Republicans have been waiting for a very long time. But it's going to take, as Al said, it's going to take everybody coming together. We got to fight. You choose who you like in the primary, and in the end, we Republicans come together to do one thing on June 29th. What is that? Elect Republicans. We are going to work hard, and we are going to be together to make sure that happens. And we've got to win back the House too, right? If you want to stop the Biden administration from some of the dumbest things I've seen happen in our nation's history, at least in my lifetime, we've got to take back this House. For those of you who I haven't met, and I got a chance to talk to a lot of you today, it's good to see you again, Steve McQueen. I have been a member of Congress. I'm in my 5th term from Central Illinois. I am in a district in 14 counties in Central and Southwestern Illinois that includes a couple 100,000 college students. It was a district drawn 10 years ago to elect a Democrat. I won the closest Republican victory in the nation in 2012. And I got to Congress, and you know what Nancy Pelosi told me? You're not coming back. Well, who showed her? Nancy. It wasn't too long ago that Nancy Pelosi and her team called me the most desperate man in Washington. I take that as a badge of honor, especially here at a place like the Quincy Tea Party meeting. I can remember before I ever got elected to Congress, sitting around a couple restaurants, might have been a couple bars with a couple of folks that we all knew and respected so well. Chip Gertis and Mike Flynn, personal friends of mine. I was here in 2009 and 2010, helping to make sure that we elected Republicans like Bobby Schilling to represent Adams County before the Democrats took that chance away with redistricting 10 years ago. The Democrats in Springfield are corrupt, and we have got to fight them in the U.S. House, and we've got to fight them in the Illinois House. And Chip Gertis and Mike Flynn helped lead the fight to where you all are as a Tea Party today. I just wish they were still with us today. Not many people have had the privilege to stand on the United States House of Representatives floor and speak about Chip Gertis. And everyone who knew Chip knew Chip was an institution in and of himself. And to this day, he's the only person that could get me to say the words "Roll Tide" on the floor of the House of Representatives. And Mike Flynn, God rest his soul. There's nobody that worked harder in making sure that that all of us fought for conservative values and principles here in Adams County than Mike Flynn and Chip Gertis. And what now is your Tea Party here in Quincy? I certainly hope I can come back again soon, but it's great to get to know you. I live in Taylorville, Illinois. Again, I've represented a district drawn for Democrats, being Nancy Pelosi's #1 target in the nation multiple times. And let me tell you how extra sweet it is to walk back onto that House floor after you watch her spend millions of dollars and say, "Hello, Madam Speaker, look who's back." And we're going to... But growing up in Taylorville, my family's in the fast food business. We didn't have anybody in politics. My mom, God rest her soul, was a high school dropout. My dad started at a fast food restaurant in 1959 in Des Moines, Iowa, called McDonald's. His dream was to own one day, so he never left. He worked his way up. And when my dad got that call that he could own his own franchise, it moved us from Des Moines, Iowa to Taylorville, Illinois. And you know what happened to my family? We experienced the American dream. But I heard a lot about Washington and Springfield and how decisions in Washington and Springfield affected their ability to hire people in my hometown of Taylorville. And that got me interested in government. It got me interested in politics. So much so that one day, in November of 2012, it took until Friday to get my final results. But you know what? Their son of a high school dropout, the son of a burger flipper, who now owns his own restaurants, got a chance to have a privilege to serve in the United States House of Representatives. But my mom and dad also, you know what they also taught me growing up? They used to talk about national politics. They talked about how Jimmy Carter was the worst president of their lifetime.
Not anymore.
As I've said before, Joe Biden said, hold my beer. I can do worse. And in less than 2 years, you've got an administration that has failed every single American. This administration has done nothing to address the inflationary pressures we haven't seen since the Carter administration. They're really impacting agriculture right now, aren't they, Steve?
Bad.
Terrible. And you know what the administration says? It's transitory. How's that transitory for your season, buddy? Not too good. The same administration is doing nothing to stop the surge of illegal immigrants across our southern border. And if you think it's bad, go there like I've been. It's worse than what you could ever imagine.
That's right.
We want legal immigrants like Mecky. We want people to go through the process. We want people who are as patriotic as you to be able to raise their right hand and swear allegiance to that American flag. That's a process that works. But the process that the Biden administration ignores is not working. And we've got 11,000 people just recently that lived under one bridge in the Del Rio sector of Texas. One bridge. You know, 11,000 people, you know what that is? That's the size of my hometown of Taylorville. You know how I judge the size of towns? By what bracket they're in the high school football playoffs? We're 4 and 5A some years. We ain't small. Under one bridge, and this administration's doing nothing to address that problem that causes the drug trade to make every state a border state in this country. Crime is out of control. And we have a president and a governor and a mayor here in Illinois that are doing absolutely nothing about it.
That's right.
We've got to do more. That's why I was proud to stand with President Trump to address some of the inequities in the justice system with the First Step Act. But in no way did we ever want the Democrats to let people out of jail who have committed the crimes that they deserve to be in jail for. And we Republicans have got to stand up and we've got to fight the Democrats in Washington to make sure that that does not happen. We've got issues where we have the squad, where their mantra has been, let's defund our police. Well, let me tell you something. I've seen what a well-trained police officer does in a time of danger. A few years ago, I was standing up to bat one early morning practicing for a charity baseball game when somebody who decided they wanted to take their political differences out with bullets on a baseball field came to try and kill me and my friends. Because we voted to do what the Tea Party of Quincy was started to do, which was to fix our broken healthcare system. I saw those officers run toward gunfire. I saw one get shot. Defunding our police is the dumbest idea I've ever heard as a member of Congress. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen, the squad's coming next for our military, and I will never vote to defund our men and women who protect this country. That is a guarantee to each and every one of you. Well, I want to close by talking to you a little bit about my family. My wife Shannon is a nurse, works at a local clinic in my hometown of Taylorville, and we are the proud parents of a 25-year-old daughter who's going to get married in about 3 weeks. Any suggestions or donations? Come on by. I'm proud of her. She's going to be an audiologist when she graduates from graduate school at the end of next year. My twin boys, they're juniors at college, all 3 at Illinois State. Trust me, I know you can direct deposit your entire paycheck. But you know what? I'm proud of them because they realize that they're the next generation. And keep in mind, we've got to get the youth of this country engaged in our fight. And they are ready and willing. It's not like just a few years ago where the Democrats went to our college campuses and they energized a lot of young voters. These young voters like my sons, they got to college right before COVID hit, and all they've ever experienced is the craziness of the COVID restrictions coming from Washington and Springfield, and frankly, other local governments. They are ready and willing to stand up with all of us, and we're going to fight like hell. Because again, the primary is June 28th, and I certainly hope I can earn your vote in that primary. I've got a great record of being a conservative who sticks with our core values and principles. I will continue to have a 100% pro-life voting record. I will continue to stick up for the Second Amendment. When you get shot at, trust me, that's a way you realize that the Second Amendment's paramount. I thought to myself, I wish I was able to fire back. And also, the last thing I ever thought about saying to the gunman trying to kill us was, hey man, can you show me your FOID card? Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear a lot this campaign from candidates all up and down the ticket. But as I started this speech, I'm going to end it by saying the same thing. These primaries will get us the best candidates. And when it's over, my job, and I commit to each and every one of you in the same vein that Chip Gertis and Mike Flynn would make me commit if they were here. I'm going to be here to help elect Republicans up and down this ticket throughout this great state. And we are going to show the Democrats in Springfield who thought they were really cute with a terribly gerrymandered map that they're only going to have 3 Republicans in Congress. Well, I got news for them. We're going to make sure that we take as many congressional seats as we can, and I know we can take them. But it's going to take hard work, it's going to take unification, it's going to take all of us rowing the same boat. And we will win that governor's office. We will win that U.S. Senate seat. We will win U.S. House seats. We will win more seats in the Illinois House and Illinois Senate, and we will make sure that we win seats right here in Adams County. We're going to do it together. I need your vote on June 28th. Thank you for having me here. I look forward to coming back. God bless each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless the greatest country on God's green earth, the United States of America. Thank you.
It's great to be here. I'm so enjoying getting to know Quincy and all of you, some of you old friends and some of you new. I cannot thank you enough for what you're doing, how you're engaged in the process. And we have a great country, a great political system where we have this system where we can evaluate who's running and make the best choice. So my name's Mary Miller. I am right now the representative for the Illinois 15th District, and I'm running for re-election in the Illinois 15. As you know, we've been gerrymandered, and I'm not going to let our corrupt governor determine who represents one of the most conservative districts in the United States. I'm the conservative candidate running in the Illinois 15, and I can prove it. So my husband and I have been farming in Coles County for 42 years. We raise corn, cattle, and kids. We have 7 children. And last night, when we found out about the amazing Supreme Court news, right at that very moment, I found out that our daughter-in-law just delivered our 19th grandchild. So my husband and my life success is that all of our children and their spouses are committed Christian conservatives who support America First, who voted for President Trump in 2016 and 2020. And I'm very pleased to let you know that I'm endorsed by President Trump because he knows I'm the strong America First supporter. And we do share the same priorities, which would be strong police support, military, energy independence, border security, and Second Amendment and pro-life. So last night I was super excited about the news, and I just want to remind everybody that this, in my opinion, is President Trump's legacy. He is the most pro-life president that we have ever had. I've also been endorsed by Senator Ted Cruz, Family Research Council, Illinois Family, Freedom Fund, Club for Growth, Freedom Caucus, and many others. And I just want to remind you that people don't put their name or their organization willy-nilly on an endorsement. They endorse you for a reason. And I know it's hard for us to find out who a candidate really is. We take multiple votes on issues, and candidates or politicians get used to deceiving people. But a lot of these organizations score our votes. And for example, the American Conservative Union, every year they score all politicians' votes. They give you a lifetime score, and then they give you an annual score. This is an objective score. I have 100%. My opponent, thank you. My opponent has an F, and his score actually went up this year from last year. And I think that, like a tree is known by its fruit, a politician is known by their votes and by who they hang around with. So first of all, we have these caucuses out in DC, and they're groups of legislators that share legislative priorities. There's liberal caucuses like the Main Street Caucus and the Tuesday Morning Caucus, which my opponent belongs to. And then there's conservative caucus, which is the Freedom Caucus. And it was established by Governor DeSantis, Jim Jordan, and Mark Meadows, and they are the constitutional conservatives. They are the fighters. And just to let you know, we have been fighting out there, for example, for the border. I belong to the Border Caucus, which my opponent does not belong to. We have been calling for our Homeland, I call them the Homeland Insecurity Secretaries, impeachment. What is happening at the border is outrageous. I was with President Trump at the border last summer, and I was with him last week at Mar-a-Lago, and he's doing great. He's strong, he's still in the fight, but like all of us, he is lamenting over the invasion at the border. And I've had multiple meetings with Border Patrol, and they all said that the numbers are actually double or worse of what's being reported, and it's really bad. And I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning last Sunday, because we talk about fighting all the time, and I got this thought: we are not in a fight, people. This is a war. This is a war. It is, first of all, a spiritual war. And it's a war for the heart and soul of our country. The difference between a politician and a patriot, I heard this recently, a politician is concerned about the next election. A patriot is concerned about the next generation. We want our children and grandchildren to be able to enjoy the freedom and the opportunities that we've all had. And back to our voting, if a politician says they're pro-life, and then they vote for an omnibus spending bill that funds Planned Parenthood, they are not pro-life. Sure. If they say that they're pro-Second Amendment and then vote for an omnibus spending bill that has red flag gun confiscation in it, they're not pro-Second Amendment. If they say they're for border security and then they're promoting amnesty with Adam Kinzinger, they're not for border security. If they say they're for the military and then they vote for a bill that is calling for dismissing our military members for not taking the vaccine, they're not really for the military. One of the things I loved, there were so many things I loved about President Trump, is he was authentic. He looked at things and said, why are we doing it this way? So many people that we'd elected to go do something for us actually did something to us. And finally, we had someone that was advocating for America first. And I know you all share my pain over what is happening to our country. And I just want to let you know that I'm willing to be in the fight. I'm a Christian. My faith guides everything I do. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 is one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. Paul said, we make it our aim to please him, knowing that we're going to give account for what we've done in our bodies, whether for good or for evil. And I believe that two things qualify me to represent you. One is that I fear God, and I don't believe if I lie or take a bribe that I'm going to ultimately get away with it. And number two, I've lived in the real world, and I would really appreciate your support. Thank you so much.